Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey changes more than a few monsters and side adventures. It removes the trick that defines Odysseus, replaces Penelope's most intelligent test, and gives the epic a different ending. Here are 7 major things Nolan left out of Homer, and why each one changes the story. Welcome to Gods and Heroes Unveiled, where ancient myths reveal their darkest secrets. Subscribe if you enjoy discovering what movies change from the original myths, and tell us at the end which omission mattered most. Every adaptation must compress Homer's 24-book poem, but these changes alter who causes Odysseus suffering, how Penelope proves his identity, and what coming home finally means. Number 7. Aeolus and the Bag of Winds. Aeolus gives Odysseus a sealed bag containing every dangerous wind. Only the wind toward Ithaca remains free. For 9 days, the fleet sails safely. On the 10th, Odysseus sees the fires of home. Then he falls asleep. His crew assumes the bag contains treasure he has hidden from them. They open it, the trapped winds explode, and the fleet is driven back across the sea. No monster defeats them. Suspicion does. The episode shows a broken relationship between Odysseus and his men. He does not trust them with the truth, and they do not trust him with power. Homer warns that a leader can reach the edge of success and still lose everything through distrust. The next omission removes the people who finally carry Odysseus home. Number 6. Nausicaa and the Phaeacians. After leaving Calypso, Odysseus survives another shipwreck and washes ashore exhausted and alone. Princess Nausicaa finds him near a river, protects his dignity, and teaches him how to ask her parents for help. At the Phaeacian court, Odysseus hides his identity. But when a bard sings about Troy, he begins to weep. King Alcinous asks who he is, and Odysseus finally tells the stories of the Cyclops, Circe, the dead, and the disasters that destroyed his crew. This matters because Odysseus becomes the narrator of his own legend. He is not only surviving the adventure, he is choosing how it will be remembered. Nausicaa also represents another possible life, a peaceful kingdom that might replace Ithaca. The Phaeacians eventually carry him home while he sleeps. Removing them makes the story faster, but it removes the society that receives a violent, exhausted stranger with generosity. Number 5. The full world of the gods. Homer's poem begins with the gods debating Odysseus' fate. Athena guides Telemachus, disguises Odysseus, helps plan the attack on the suitors, and later stops another war. Poseidon blocks the voyage. Hermes protects Odysseus against Circe. Zeus decides when punishment, rescue, and peace are allowed. Nolan keeps Athena, but the divine world becomes more psychological. The councils of Olympus disappear, and the gods no longer act as a visible political force controlling the journey. That creates a more modern hero. Odysseus seems to fight war, nature, trauma, memory, and his own choices rather than rival immortals. But Homer divides responsibility. Mortals make choices, while gods create pressure, offer protection, and demand punishment. Reducing them changes a central question. Is Odysseus suffering because fate is against him, or because he keeps creating the next disaster? The clearest answer appears inside the Cyclops cave. The final 2 omissions change Penelope and the ending itself. But first comes the trick that made Odysseus famous, and the boast that condemned him. Number 4. Nobody and Poseidon's curse. Inside the cave, Odysseus tells Polyphemus that his name is Nobody. After giving the Cyclops strong wine, Odysseus and his men drive a heated stake into his eye. Polyphemus screams for help. The other Cyclopes ask who is attacking him. Nobody, he answers. They assume no enemy is present and leave. Odysseus defeats a stronger creature by controlling language. The Greeks escape beneath the Cyclops' sheep. But from the departing ship, Odysseus cannot accept an anonymous victory. He shouts his true name across the water. Now Polyphemus can pray to his father, Poseidon. He asks the god to delay Odysseus' return, destroy his companions, and bring him home late and broken. Nolan keeps the terror of the Cyclops, but removes most of this verbal chain. The nobody trick and Poseidon's curse no longer connect as clearly. In Homer, intelligence saves Odysseus, but pride condemns him. His greatest strength and fatal weakness appear in the same scene. Without that chain, the Cyclops is a survival sequence. With it, the episode becomes the Odyssey in miniature. Odysseus escapes one disaster, then creates the next. Number 3. The Missing Dead. Nolan's Underworld includes Agamemnon, but Homer surrounds Odysseus with a larger and more painful assembly of the dead. Elpenor is an ordinary crewman left without burial. He asks not for glory, but for funeral rites. Anticlea, Odysseus' mother, tells him that grief for her absent son destroyed her. He tries 3 times to embrace her, and 3 times her spirit passes through his arms. Achilles attacks the value of heroic fame. In life, he chose a short existence with eternal glory. In death, he says he would rather be a poor laborer among the living than rule all the dead. Ajax refuses to speak to Odysseus. Their resentment survives death. Each ghost reveals a different cost of heroic ambition. Forgotten followers, suffering families, empty fame, and wounds that cannot be repaired. Without them, the underworld becomes less of a moral reckoning. But the most important person who tests Odysseus is still alive. Number 2. Penelope's olive tree bed test. After Odysseus kills the suitors, Penelope does not immediately accept him. She has spent 20 years surrounded by rumors, lies, and strangers claiming knowledge of her husband. A man who looks like Odysseus has appeared in her palace, but appearance is not proof. So Penelope sets a trap. She orders a servant to move their marriage bed. Odysseus reacts at once. The bed cannot be moved. He built the room around a living olive tree and shaped the bed from its rooted trunk. Moving it would destroy the secret structure of their home. Nolan replaces the olive tree test with a different private proof connected to Athena. Penelope still recognizes him, but the meaning changes. In Homer, she provokes the stranger and studies his response. Her weapon is private knowledge, just as Odysseus' weapon against the Cyclops was language. The bed also symbolizes the marriage itself, rooted in Ithaca, damaged by time, but not easily moved. This quiet test proves Penelope is Odysseus' intellectual equal. Yet even this reunion is not Homer's ending. The greatest change is not a missing god, princess, ghost, or monster. It is where Nolan leaves Odysseus, Penelope, Telemachus, and Ithaca when the story ends. Number 1. Homer's true ending. Nolan's film ends with Telemachus becoming king while Odysseus and Penelope leave Ithaca together in self-imposed exile. Homer sends the story in the opposite direction. After reuniting with Penelope, Odysseus visits his elderly father, Laertes. He tests him with a false story, then proves his identity through memories of the orchard and the trees Laertes gave him as a child. This reunion reconnects Odysseus with the generation before him and with the land itself. Meanwhile, the families of the dead suitors gather for revenge. From their perspective, Odysseus has returned after 20 years and slaughtered many of Ithaca's most powerful young men. Another battle begins. Homer does not pretend revenge creates peace. One killing creates another grievance, and Odysseus is ready to continue the cycle. Then Athena intervenes. With Zeus's authority, she commands both sides to stop. Odysseus remains king, Telemachus does not replace him, and divine power restores order. Nolan turns departure into moral action. His Odysseus is burdened by Troy, the deaths of his men, and the violence inside his home. Leaving becomes an act of penance. Homer's ending is less clean. Odysseus stays. He must accept the throne, the family, the land, and the consequences of everything required to reclaim them. Nolan does not simply shorten Book 24. He changes the meaning of homecoming. In the film, coming home gives Odysseus the freedom to leave. In Homer, coming home means accepting responsibility for what remains. Which omission changed the story most? The missing gods, Penelope's bed test, the nobody trick, or Nolan's new ending? Share your answer below. If this comparison revealed something new, like the video, share it with someone who has seen the movie, and subscribe to Gods and Heroes Unveiled. Then continue with the complete Bag of Winds story on the end screen, where Odysseus comes within sight of Ithaca before one act of distrust destroys everything.